A new lab study tested foods sold as made with avocado oil, chips, mayonnaise, salad dressings. And in the avocado oil products they tested, 89% showed signs of other oils. Not a few, not half, 89%. But that does not mean every brand on the shelf is fake. And it does not mean every bottle or every bag failed. What it does mean is that one of the healthiest looking labels in the grocery store may be telling a much simpler story than the product inside. Today, we are breaking down exactly what that study found, why made with avocado oil does not mean what most shoppers think it means, and which label details give you the best chance of knowing what you are actually paying for. And at the end, I'll show you the single front label phrase that sounds premium but often tells you the least. Start with the number, because the number is what makes this story impossible to ignore. Researchers from UC Davis tested processed foods sold as made with avocado oil. Out of 54 avocado oil products they examined, 48 showed fatty acid patterns that did not match pure avocado oil. That included 93% of the chips they tested, 71% of the mayonnaise products, and every salad dressing sample in their avocado oil group. That sounds explosive. But there is one important limit. The study tested specific products and specific samples bought in California and online in 2025 and 2026. It does not prove that every unit of every product on the market is adulterated. That distinction matters, because the real lesson here is not panic. The real lesson is that shoppers have been trained to read avocado oil as a shortcut for purity, health, and premium quality. And the label often does not deserve that automatic trust. So let's go step by step, starting with the product category that makes the label easiest to overestimate. Number 5. Chips. This is where the study found the highest failure rate. 93% of the avocado oil chips they tested showed signs that the oil profile did not match pure avocado oil. That number matters because chips are where avocado oil marketing looks the cleanest. The bag usually gives you a simple story: cooked in avocado oil, clean ingredients, no seed oils, maybe a better-for-you halo. But a front-of-bag message like that does not tell you whether the oil inside is pure avocado oil, blended oil, oxidized oil, or something the manufacturer believed was avocado oil, because that is what a supplier sold them. And that supplier angle is a huge part of the story, because adulteration does not always mean a brand deliberately decided to trick shoppers. In some cases, the company at the end of the chain may be buying oil that already arrived compromised. That does not make the label problem smaller. It makes it harder to detect. And that is why chips are such a strong starting point for this investigation. They look simple, they feel modern, they sound healthy. But this category delivered the highest percentage of inconsistent samples in the study. And the next category might be even more dangerous for shopper assumptions, because it feels more clean label than chips ever will. Number 4. Mayonnaise. Mayo is where the avocado oil story becomes more emotionally persuasive. A shopper sees mayonnaise made with avocado oil and instantly imagines an upgrade. Less industrial, less processed, more premium, maybe even cleaner than standard mayo. But the study found that 71% of the avocado oil mayonnaise products they tested showed fatty acid patterns inconsistent with pure avocado oil. That matters because mayonnaise makes oil the star. This is not a tiny supporting ingredient buried in the middle of a long list. The oil is the structure of the product. It defines texture. It defines richness. It defines the entire health impression of the jar. So if the product is sold on avocado oil as a major reason to buy it, the oil claim is not a decorative detail. It is the center of the sale. And there is another layer most shoppers miss. The phrase "made with avocado oil" does not necessarily mean avocado oil is the only oil in the product. Sometimes the key word is not avocado, it is with. And that one word deserves far more suspicion than most people give it. Because "made with" can sound like exclusivity when it really just signals presence. Avocado oil may be in the jar. The question is, how much, in what role, and in what condition? And before we get to the label phrase that hides this most effectively, look at the third category, because here the failure rate was absolute. Number 3, salad dressing. In the avocado oil salad dressings tested, the study reported 100% inconsistency with pure avocado oil. Every single sample. That does not mean every avocado oil dressing on every shelf is automatically compromised. But it does mean this category should immediately raise your standards for what counts as a trustworthy label. Salad dressing is a category built on lifestyle signaling. The bottle is not just selling flavor, it is selling a food identity. Avocado oil sounds cleaner than soybean oil, more modern than canola, more premium than generic vegetable oil. And when you put that phrase on a dressing bottle, the shopper is not just buying sauce, they are buying a belief that the product reflects a better ingredient standard. That is why this category matters so much. When a label becomes a proxy for trust, people stop asking the harder question, what exactly is this phrase promising? Because made with avocado oil is not the same thing as 100% avocado oil. And contains avocado oil is not the same thing as this product's fat profile is what you think it is. That difference between presence and purity is the entire backbone of this video. And in a second, I'm going to show you the one version of the label that sounds the strongest while often giving you the least usable information. But before that, we need to look at the category shoppers trust the most. Number 2. Bottled avocado oil. This is where many people assume the problem becomes easier. A bottle of avocado oil should be straightforward. It is the oil itself. No chips, no mayo, no dressing matrix, no confusion. But this is where the label story becomes even more important, because a bottle can look premium while revealing very little. Cold-pressed, pure, premium, naturally refined, product of multiple countries, distributed by one company, packed by another. And sometimes the front gives a beautiful, expensive impression while the back gives you almost nothing about traceability. That does not prove the bottle is compromised. But it does mean the bottle can ask for a premium price without giving you premium certainty, and that is why bottled oil deserves more skepticism, not less. Shoppers often assume a bottle is cleaner because it looks closer to the source. But the oil supply chain is exactly where substitution, blending, and quality dilution can happen before the final brand even fills the container. Which means your confidence should not come from the color of the label. It should come from transparency, country of origin details, harvest information, third-party verification if one exists, specific sourcing language that means something, not just mood words. And this brings us to the last item, because the biggest issue in this entire market may not be one product type. It may be one label phrase. Number 1. Made with avocado oil. This is the phrase that sounds strongest while often promising the least. Not because it is automatically false, because it is emotionally stronger than it is technically precise. Made with avocado oil tells you avocado oil is involved. It does not automatically tell you avocado oil is the only oil. It does not automatically tell you the oil is pure. It does not automatically tell you how much is present. And it does not automatically tell you whether the final fat profile matches what shoppers imagine when they pay extra for avocado oil. That gap between emotional meaning and technical meaning is where this whole category becomes so slippery. A shopper reads, made with avocado oil, and mentally hears, better, cleaner, higher quality, less processed. But the phrase itself may only be telling you one narrow thing. Avocado oil is in the formula somewhere, and that is not the same claim. That is the payoff of the whole investigation. The healthiest-looking phrase on the package may be doing the most work with the least certainty. If this kind of grocery label breakdown is useful to you, subscribe to Behind the Label. Because once you see how these labels work, you start reading the whole store differently. Now, here's the obvious question. If the front is weak, what should you actually look for? Start with the exact wording. Made with avocado oil is weaker than a claim that clearly states the product uses only avocado oil as the relevant oil ingredient. Next, check the full ingredient list. Are multiple oils present? Is avocado oil first among the fat ingredients, or is it one of several? Then look for sourcing clarity. Does the bottle or package tell you where the oil comes from in a meaningful way? Or does it only give vague geography and premium mood language? Then look for independent verification when it exists. That will not solve every problem, but it raises the standard beyond pure branding. And finally, stay alert to what the product category is really selling. A chip bag is selling a health halo. A mayonnaise jar is selling an oil identity. A salad dressing bottle is selling trust through wellness language. And a bottle of oil is selling source credibility. Different products use the same ingredient story in different ways. That is why a one-size-fits-all reading of the label fails. There is one more twist here. A product can legally and accurately include avocado oil and still leave shoppers with the wrong impression. That is what makes this problem so sticky. This is not just about whether a label is true or false. It is about whether the shopper's interpretation is much bigger than the claim itself. And that is why this story matters beyond avocado oil. Because once you notice this pattern, you start seeing it everywhere. Made with olive oil, made with real fruit, made with honey, made with whole grains. A phrase can be technically true and still create an oversized emotional conclusion in the buyer's mind. And that is exactly why this investigation matters. The UC Davis study does not tell us that every avocado oil product is bad. It does not prove that every brand intentionally misled consumers, and it does not mean you should panic every time you see the word avocado, but it does tell us something much more useful. The avocado oil label has been allowed to mean more in the shopper's mind than the words themselves reliably guarantee. That is the real problem. So the next time you pick up chips, mayo, dressing, or a bottle that leans heavily on avocado oil, stop before you let the front of the package finish the story for you. Read the exact phrase. Read the ingredient list. Look for multiple oils, look for sourcing detail, and ask the question the front label hopes you never ask. What exactly is this claim promising, and what is it not promising? Because in this category, the product may contain avocado oil. The label may still be legal, and the impression you paid for may still be much bigger than the truth.